So I've really had an incredible amount of different influences throughout my youth experiences, and I always take it back to my family. My family and my parents, my extended family, were a huge influence and still are a huge influence on me. And then I guess you could say just the emergence of youth culture at that time. Hip hop was a great big influence on my life and my generation because it was a new electric, energetic, explosive art form, and it was captivating, and it was something that we learned about world global views and politics through music and rhythm, and that was a huge influence on me. Just to see how my parents had a backdrop of music in their time of growing through their eras of organizing, their eras of building community, and music was always a big part of that. Art was always a big part of that. So when I was able to embrace the music and the art of my youth and my time, it was a big influence on the world, but obviously me as an individual as well. You know, if you ask my parents today, they might argue over who named me. So they might argue over who actually wanted to name me my namesake. But nonetheless, the story behind it is my dad always says they put a target on my back. So like there's a lot of fun that comes along with being named Fidel. All right. So part of the story is I'm named after Fidel Castro. And for some people, they may know who that is or what that sort of represents. And for a lot of people, it's a time for me to be able to educate people on not just my name, but the power of names, period. So yeah, I'm named after Fidel Castro. I'm most proud of my family. I'm most proud of my children, but that's the easy answer. You know, I'm most proud of being a father. I'm most proud of being the father of my children. That's my greatest accomplishment. And being able to create an environment for them to grow in a healthy and a safe space is really critical for me. I don't really, and nothing really can measure up to that. But other than that, you know, just being able to make a living and make a way out of no way, meaning I've created things that didn't exist. I've made a path for myself by defining myself and just being true to myself. I think I'm proud of being able to walk in any room and be authentically me and smash my hand on the table and say what I need to say and do what I need to do and walk out and feel great and go to sleep at night. Most people can't say that. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to posture myself as something that I'm not. And I'm okay with that. I got a long way to go though, you know? That's the other reason why that's a big question for me, because I don't really like measure my accomplishments in that way. So just thinking about that and trying to think back of what happened and what was more significant, or that's hard for me to do sometimes. So I often just think about freeing myself of what I've done and not really letting that bound me to the past. I've always thought about it like that happened already and I want to do something new and something next. So I'm often, and that's to a flaw almost, because I don't necessarily think that that's all the way a good thing, but I'm just humble in that way and I'm just a servant in that way where it's just not about me and it's not about what I've done and it's not about, you know, my own accomplishments. I've gotten some great awards, some great recognition. I've made a couple dollars. I've done a lot of great things, I'd say, but just being able to go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning as fired up as ever, every day, is something I think is a great accomplishment. Some people hate their life and hate their job and hate their family and hate what they have to do every day in a sick way, like in a way that's very unhealthy, and I don't. And I'm just happy about that. Art for me it's one of the things that, you know, nowadays, again, when I look back in my life, it's not anything that I was raised to think that was outside of myself. Like everything was art, everything was culture, everything was political in my upbringing. So I think art is a part of the fabric of being human. I just don't look, I mean, there's so many different expressions of art, so many different mediums of art. You know, if you look at it from a categorized way, you could be an artist and do so many different things and call it art, and that's great. I think just being alive is art. Art is everything. I mean, it's like math. I don't even know how you don't equate art into everything. You equate math into everything. It's like breathing. You have to it's part of what makes you alive for me. It's also what brings people together. Art and food, it's just like you have to have food to live. You have to have art to live, for me at least. And so art is like food. I eat it, if that makes sense. I breathe it.